Hello everyone. Today I have with me Mr. Ramesh Revuru, Global Head of Engineering, BlueVerse LTIMindtree. Welcome Ramesh.
Thank you, Yusuf.
Ramesh, as you know, over the past 6 months or so, agentic adoption has quadrupled, and clearly enterprises are embracing this agentic transformation at scale. So how does BlueVerse RightAction fit into this evolving landscape?
Absolutely. I think that's a fair assessment of how the agentic landscape is proliferating within the customer landscapes. One of the things that we've seen is that there are a lot of agents that are getting created in the customer landscape. But one big question playing on customers' minds continues to be, do I trust these? What is the level of confidence that I have in the agents that are getting developed? And in that sense, we're all extremely excited about the fact that this is indeed, when I talk about RightAction, first of its kind architecture that we're launching in the market. Why is it so special? It's so special because it links back to the trust and the confidence part that I spoke about. My ability through RightAction to guarantee each and every instance when the agent is taking an action to be the right action is what we have over the last many years done the research around how do we bring that to customers. While a lot of research has gone into, for a certain process area, can you come up with something that defines what the next action should be in terms of suggesting what the next action could be? I don't think enough research has happened in terms of ensuring right action takes place. And a good example of that is if you look at Six Sigma. Six Sigma talks about your ability to keep the defects low to probably 3 to 4 in a million. And our attempt through RightAction has been, can we deliver that kind of accuracy? Can we deliver right action to our customers? And that is why this is, in that sense, truly unique in what we've created. And our ability to guarantee that right action is what makes it so special.
Yeah, and that's very, very interesting, Ramesh. Recently, I came across an incident where a grieving passenger relied on an agent of an airline website, which assured him that the bereavement discounts can always be applied later, and he went ahead, he did the booking. But subsequently, when he tried to claim the discount, the airline denied the refund, stating the bereavement discount should be applied only at the time of booking and he cannot claim it later. Subsequently, the matter went to the court, and the court ruled in the favor of the passenger, stating that they have to give him the refund. Not just that, the court also clearly said the enterprises, they are responsible for the actions of the autonomous agents. So in these circumstances, how does RightAction help establish that governance layer and also bring in transparency at enterprise level?
It's just so sad that something of that nature happened. There are our sympathies with whoever tried to book that ticket, considering it was bereavement, not a great thing to happen. I'm sure it got resolved. And that is why the focus on creating RightAction. And our belief is that there are 6 different layers in any agentic build out. And unless we fix every nut and bolt of that 6-layered engine, we will not be able to deliver and guarantee the right action to our customers. And as our research has been starting with the lowest foundational layer, people typically build their agents on general purpose models. We said any agentic build out for us is going to be on the back of identifying these SLMs that are built for a purpose. So these are purpose built for specific use cases. We take them, we then do the fine tuning on them to ensure that we're able to give it the right kind of instructions, the right kind of detail that is required for the model to perform in that context. Then we take it another level by bringing the right kind of ontologies that are required. We take it another level by ensuring that industry standard regulations are applied. And we've looked at, let's say, take the example of fraud detection. We've looked at applying the likes of FIBO to the likes of FFD, etc., to ensure that in the retail space, for a credit card, for a fraud detection, going down to that micro level of what will be required to ensure that it is indeed being prepared for such and such a scenario. We don't leave it there. Through our productized offering foundry, we also ensure that it is being given the right kind of business rules, the SOPs that are required, the logs of what has happened in the past, and thereby the intelligence that is required for the agent to perform is being provided. We've made provisions for ensuring that the context is being provided. We've made provisions for ensuring that the intent is provided. We've made sure that the goals and objectives are set. Again, we don't leave it there. We go down to the level of, at a particular step in the process, breaking it down to what could be the possible actions, to what's the propensity attached to it, what's the cost benefit analysis, the risk of taking an action, and thereby ensuring that you put enough guardrails, safeguards in the place to take the enterprise autonomous. See, if my reason for going agentic is I want to make the enterprise autonomous, I as a customer also want to have that confidence that yes, it indeed will take the right action, and that's our reason why we're saying we guarantee it.
Yeah, Ramesh, you talked about fraud detection as one of the use cases with RightAction. So can you elaborate on that a bit maybe with an example of how a fraud detection system with and without RightAction would behave?
So think of it as fraud detection has been there for many years now, and customers would have implemented in their own way mechanisms to catch fraud. And as there's no denial, so we're not saying this is the first in that sense. But then what have happened is that the systems that are built are traditionally built using certain rules, and hence if you have a scenario that doesn't fit into the said rule, it might not get caught in the system. And hence, how do you prepare for those scenarios that are not baked into the system is where RightAction comes in. So to elaborate, let's take the fraud itself, detection as an example of how agentic systems built with RightAction can deliver and guarantee RightAction, is that for, let's say, a transaction of $99 that customer has performed, in a traditional, classical, even ML-based system, it might get triggered as a low risk, or might not even be flagged as a low risk and might go through because this is a low value transaction and there's nothing else, at least the system sees as a pattern to be worried about. But what we have baked into RightAction is the fact that I will also go, and because it's built on a vector graph, and the vector graph has all the required details, the ontologies, etc., to look for, are these transactions to be looked at in isolation, or do we have to look at it from a pattern finding standpoint? And there, if let's say the RightAction finds that the daily average spending pattern of the customer doesn't map into what has happened currently, and then it goes and looks for, has there an overdraft happened on the customer, to also looking for other multiple such transactions that are happening probably below the threshold itself, and then it's a regular system not flagging it as a risk, but the system built with RightAction would be able to flag it as a medium risk, which can then be sent to the other agents which can do further analysis of the transaction.
That's excellent, Ramesh. So it can identify even if the pattern is emerging on the fly. So will the RightAction work only with BlueVerse? What about the customers who have invested in other models or LLMs?
As an engineering head for BlueVerse, my answer would sound more like what Tom Cruise said in that movie, With and Without. But on a serious note, I spoke about how every nut and bolt across these six different layers to be tightened to ensure we're able to guarantee that. And then some customer says, I've already created my own, let's say, foundational models to certain agents, and then can I bring them into the productized offering that LTIMindtree is bringing? You can do that. But my ability to guarantee that outcome would come down. And hence think of it as if there are systems today that are driving 60% automation, and we're saying we can come and drive a much higher level of automation in the enterprise, thereby making you autonomous for that process area, maybe taking it to 80-85%. That percentage would go down if we start changing each layer with something that is built by the customer, may not necessarily be purpose built for what we're trying to solve.
Sure. Thanks. Thank you so much, Ramesh.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.